Hello Canada. The air is crisp, the leaves have fallen, and winter is knocking. What will this season bring? A gentle winter, or a classic Canadian challenge? This year expect big contrasts and surprises. From coast to coast, some will see heavy snow, others biting cold. Powerful forces in our atmosphere and oceans are at play. This winter won't be simple. Each region will have its own story. Imagine a tug of war above us, shaping our weather week by week. 1 week, deep freeze. The next, a sudden thaw. This back and forth will keep us guessing. Flexibility and humor will be your best friends. The Weather Network has studied the signs and is ready to guide you. Why is this winter unique? Major global weather players are making moves. We have a returning La Niña in the Pacific, unusually warm waters elsewhere, and the ever-present polar vortex. This year the polar vortex looks unstable. When these forces interact, they create a complex dynamic pattern. Our job: untangle the puzzle and help you prepare. Let's dive into the details for every region. We'll visit BC's snowy mountains, the chilly prairies, Ontario and Quebec's snow battles, and Atlantic Canada's stormy coasts. This forecast is your guide to the months ahead. Prepare for whatever Mother Nature sends. Let's get ready for a memorable Canadian winter together. It promises to be anything but boring. Stay tuned as we break down what's coming to your backyard. Winter is here. Let's face it together. Ready? Let's go. To understand this winter, let's look at the big picture. 3 main drivers are shaping Canada's forecast: La Niña in the Pacific, global ocean temperatures, and the polar vortex. La Niña cools the eastern Pacific, shifting the jet stream and bringing colder, snowier conditions to western Canada. The jet stream acts like a river of air, steering storms and cold. Warm Atlantic waters add fuel to storms, making them stronger and wetter in the east. The contrast between a cool Pacific and a warm Atlantic sets up a battleground for air masses. The polar vortex, a swirling mass of Arctic air, usually stays locked up north. But when it weakens, lobes of frigid air can plunge south, bringing deep freezes. This year the polar vortex looks unstable. Expect a few Arctic outbreaks. These drivers will decide where the cold and storms go. La Niña means more snow and cold in the west, while the east faces wild swings. The Atlantic's warmth could mean stronger storms, and more precipitation. The polar vortex's behavior will be key. Watch for sudden cold snaps. This winter, the interplay of these forces will keep us on our toes. It's a complex puzzle, but we're here to help you solve it. Stay alert for changing conditions. The story of this winter is written by the oceans and the Arctic. Let's see how it unfolds across Canada. Get ready for a season of surprises. Let's dig deeper into La Niña, one of winter's biggest influencers. La Niña means colder Pacific waters, which shift the jet stream north, then south over western North America. This superhighway brings Arctic air into BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, often making winters colder and snowier in the west. The jet stream also carries Pacific moisture, fueling heavy snow in the mountains. Ski resorts love La Niña years, but cities like Vancouver and Calgary face more shoveling and tricky commutes. La Niña's reach extends east, making the jet stream's path unpredictable. This can mean more lake-effect snow for Ontario and variable conditions for Quebec and Atlantic Canada. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it pulls in warmer air from the south. This variability makes forecasting a challenge, especially in the east. La Niña sets the stage for a classic Canadian winter in the west and a wild ride elsewhere. The chain reaction from the Pacific ripples across the country. Each region feels its own version of La Niña's influence. This year, expect the unexpected, especially as the jet stream wobbles. La Niña is the cool kid on the block, and it's calling the shots. Stay tuned for how it shapes your winter. The story is just beginning. The polar vortex, often misunderstood but crucial to our winter. It's not a storm, but a swirling mass of frigid air over the Arctic. When strong, it keeps the cold locked up north. When weak, it wobbles, sending lobes of Arctic air south. That's when we get those bone-chilling cold snaps. This winter, early signs point to a less stable vortex. Expect a few major Arctic outbreaks, lasting a week or 2 at a time. Temperatures could plunge far below normal, with dangerous wind chills from the prairies to the Atlantic. Timing is hard to predict, but the risk is real. A weak vortex also means a wavier jet stream, creating more chances for slow-moving storms and prolonged snow or freezing rain. The polar vortex is the source of our coldest air. Its behavior will shape the winter's most dramatic moments. When you hear polar vortex, think deep freeze and wild weather swings. Bundle up and be ready for sudden changes. The vortex is a key player in this winter's story. Watch for its next move. Stay prepared. Western Canada faces a classic La Niña winter, two very different stories. In BC and the Alberta foothills, expect heavy snow, especially in the mountains. Skiers, rejoice. Coastal and valley areas like Vancouver may see more snow and slushy, tricky travel. Inland cities like Kelowna and Kamloops should brace for above-average snowfall. On the prairies, the story shifts to cold. Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba will see several severe cold snaps. Temperatures could plunge to -30 or 40, with wind chills even lower. Snowfall will be near normal, but the cold will define the season. Between cold snaps, expect brief breaks, but overall, it's a return to tough prairie winters. Prepare your vehicles, homes, and wardrobes for the chill. Prairie resilience will be tested, but it's nothing new. This winter demands respect and readiness. Stay warm, stay safe. Ontario's winter will be a battleground of air masses. Cold from the west clashes with milder air from the south, right over the Great Lakes. Expect a roller coaster of temperatures and an active storm track. The Great Lakes, still warm from summer, will fuel intense lake-effect snow. Traditional snowbelt areas should brace for major accumulations. Cities like Toronto and Ottawa will see a mix of big snowstorms, messy ice, and freezing rain. Freezing rain is a real concern. Watch for power outages and dangerous travel. Northern Ontario will be colder and snowier, with long, tough winter conditions. Lake Superior will boost snowfall in nearby areas. For the north, it's a classic winter. Time for snowmobiling and ice fishing. Southern Ontario, prepare for wild swings and all types of winter weather. The lakes will be the engine of Ontario's winter. Stay alert and ready. Quebec and Atlantic Canada are in for a stormy, active winter. Cold air from the west meets warm Atlantic waters, fueling powerful nor'easters. Southern Quebec, including Montreal, will see fluctuating temperatures and a mix of snow, ice, and rain. The St. Lawrence Valley is prone to freezing rain. Prepare for outages and tough travel. The Maritimes' weather depends on each storm's track blizzards. Heavy snow or rain are all possible. Above normal precipitation is likely, with messy mixes along the coasts. Newfoundland will see wild swings, heavy snow, high winds, and even rain. The region's reputation for dramatic winter storms will be on full display. Storm warnings will be frequent. Stay informed. Emergency kits are a must. This winter Atlantic Canada will see it all. Be ready for anything. Canadian winters are legendary and full of wild facts. Mount Copeland, BC, once got over 80 feet of snow in a single season. The coldest temperature ever recorded in Canada, -63°C in Snag, Yukon, colder than Mars. Rare snow rollers can form when wind rolls wet snow into giant cylinders. Blizzard has a strict definition. Winds over 40 km/h. Visibility under 400 meters, lasting at least 4 hours. This winter, some regions may see true blizzard conditions. Canada's winter is as fascinating as it is fierce. This winter will be dramatic. Deep snows, wild storms, and cold snaps. Key themes: variability and intensity driven by La Niña warm Atlantic waters and a wobbly polar vortex. Be prepared. Check your winter gear, ready your home, and pack emergency kits for home and car. Power outages and icy roads are real risks. Plan ahead. But winter is also for fun. Skiing, skating, snowshoeing, and cozy nights by the fire. Find joy in the season, even on tough days. The Weather Network will keep you updated with the latest forecasts. Check off and heed warnings and stay safe. It's going to be a wild ride, Canada, but we're ready for it. Enjoy the season.